Okay, I'm sorry. Jesus Christ, yeah. Christmas is awesome. I love Christmas. It's the greatest holiday ever. Jesus Christ. There. See, hat. Yeah. I don't really want to wear it though. Okay. Christmas music. Want to listen to Christmas music? There we go.
Stroke my, lick my, suck my cock.
Okay. I'm so sorry. That was a little inappropriate, but I'm very sorry. What the fuck was that? Oh. God damn! What was that? A Star Wars candy cane? What the fuck? Oh, stop! Ouch. Hey guys, welcome back to the Grandma's channel and welcome back to our movie review series. And the movie I'm reviewing today is a happy, cheerful Christmas movie.
I hate all of you!
That the whole family can enjoy. Ugh. And yeah, it's got a bunch of friendly gingerbread men. Krampus. Coming out in 2015, Krampus is easily one of the most popular Christmas horror movies out there. Like seriously, Christmas is meant to be like the happiest time of the year, and this movie literally shows basically like an evil Santa Claus that's gonna kill an entire family. So, pretty crazy. And this is coming from the same director who directed Trick or Treat. And I watched it at a very young age, and it really freaked me out. So every time I think about the movie, I just feel fucking gross. It's a really weird movie. He also directed Godzilla King of the Monsters, which it was okay. Had some cool moments here and there, but it was just a fine movie. So now I'm glad that Krampus is a movie and that I've seen it, because Krampus was a lot of fun. I really, really enjoyed Krampus. And it really bugs me to see the very, low reviews and scores that this movie's been given by critics. Like, it really annoys me. Like, Krampus was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed this movie. I had a good time. It was a really fun Christmas horror movie. Yeah, I had a really good time, and I was really happy with it. So I want to talk about some of the actors that I recognize in this movie, like Toni Collette, who I remembered seeing in Hereditary. She was a lot of fun in this movie. She was very enjoyable to watch, unlike her performance in Hereditary. I'm not saying her performance in Hereditary was bad. It's just her performance in that movie was a lot more disturbing. And I also recognize the actress of Aunt Dorothy. I don't really remember her name, but I recognize her from this little show called 2.5 Men, and it was really funny to see her in this movie. And what made it even better is that her character was a bit of a bitch in this movie, and it was pretty great.
What are you now, a Jew?
And yeah, those were like the main actors that I recognized in this movie. There were a few other actors like Adam Scott and stuff like that I was like, hey, I know that person, but other than that, yeah, those were like the main actors that I really I recognized. And yeah, we're just focusing on this family that start off pretty shit. Like, they seem like a pretty shit family. Like, they don't get along at all. And when Krampus and his little elves and gingerbread men start tormenting the family, they start to bond a little more, and they start to, just as the movie continues, they just become better people, and they start to bond and, actually become a real family. And I think we've definitely seen stuff like this 100 times before. They start off as terrible characters, but as the movie continues, they become better people, and all that type of stuff. We've probably seen that stuff like 100 times, but I really enjoyed it in this movie. Because the family did really start off like assholes, and I didn't really like the majority of them. But as the movie continued, you started to like them a little more, and it was, I don't know, I liked it. It was fun. I enjoyed it, and the movie had a lot of good humor as well with the family, especially from Aunt Dorothy, of course. Yeah, the movie had some good humor, which was pretty cool. It's in a horror movie, it's kind of weird, but it had some good humor when it was trying to be funny, so that was good. And yeah. The opening of this movie is literally the most depressing thing I've ever seen. It's just like a normal Black Friday day, but it just makes Christmas look so depressing. Like, it's beginning to feel a lot like Christmas while this scene plays, and it's just like a normal Black Friday day, but it just makes Christmas look so depressing. And when you think about it, it is pretty accurate to what it's like in real life, and that makes it even more depressing. And yeah, I just had to praise this movie for having such a depressing opening. Yeah, literally those are the type of people that Krampus likes to go after. Like, those people are just a bunch of savages who have completely lost their Christmas spirit. Yeah, those are the type of people that Krampus likes to go after, so, yeah. And speaking of the man himself, let's talk about Krampus. Well, he ended up not having as much screen time as I thought he was going to have, but nonetheless, I thought he looked pretty cool. My only issue is that his face looks kind of weird. Like, I don't know if he's meant to be wearing a mask, because his face, the whole time we see his face, it's literally just like this. It's just, his mouth is just wide open, and it looked kind of weird. I was like, is he meant to be wearing a mask? Which I assume he is, because his elves that show up in a few scenes, they're also wearing masks, so I'm assuming he's meant to be wearing a mask. Correct me if I'm wrong. If he's not, then his face looks kind of weird. But other than that, he looks pretty cool. He doesn't have a lot of screen time. Well, he does have a bit of screen time, just not as much as I thought he would have, because it kind of focuses on all of the other creatures, like the gingerbread men and everything else. But yeah, and we're also focusing on the family, of course, which I didn't mind. I enjoyed the family, so I didn't mind that Krampus didn't have a whole bunch of screen time, so I didn't care as much. And he looked pretty cool. And yes, there are different creatures in this movie. Instead of getting a whole bunch of Krampus, we get things like this thing. This gigantic clown doll or toy that has a gigantic mouth with sharp teeth and fucking eats an entire child. And Adam Scott's reaction to it is fucking goofy.
Oh, come on.
But nonetheless, it looks fucking terrifying, but it also looks really cool, because I've heard like they actually made that. Like that whole thing, whatever that thing is, it's entirely like practical. So it looks pretty cool, I have to say. It looks pretty damn cool. So we get that thing. It's pretty fucking creepy. And we also get gingerbread men, like I said before, and also showed you guys before. We got a bunch of gingerbread men, obviously CGI, but they actually don't look too bad. I actually didn't mind the CGI of the gingerbread men. They actually look pretty good. And they fucking kill the fat kid of the movie, which I did not care. I'm kind of glad he went out. He didn't say a fucking word throughout the whole movie until he was being taken. So that was pretty crazy to see that. I was like, holy shit, this kid can speak. Oh my, about fucking time. And yeah, I'm glad he died. I don't really care. Like, he literally just reminded me of the fat kid from Trick or Treat who kept vomiting all over the place. Sorry for showing that. No, I'm not. Anyways, yeah. And then this very unexpected moment in the movie where the film just turned into freaking stop motion animation. Or that's what I presume it is. It's just animated. It's animation all of a sudden in the movie. And it looked really cool. It looked fucking beautiful. It gave me a lot of Coraline vibes. That was like legit. That was the first thing I was thinking about when I saw the animation. It was like fucking, it's Coraline. It's fucking Coraline. And it was very cool. It was also very unexpected. It looked really cool. But the story was kind of depressing. It was a very depressing story, but the animation looked really cool. That's all that matters. The story was a bit depressing, but the animation looked very nice. So that was cool. That was a nice little moment that they did in the movie. And the story also kind of set up how the movie was most likely end, with basically the main child character, Max. Like, his whole family was going to get killed by Krampus, and he would be, I guess, taught a lesson to always keep his Christmas spirit, I guess, and he would be left alone. That's how we thought the movie was going to end, and it kind of gave us an idea of that's how the movie is going to end. And that's kind of how it goes out. The family dies, and he's left alone, and that's it. But then it keeps going, and I'm kind of glad it did, because that would have been the most easiest and most predictable ending they could have gone with. But no, they didn't go with that. They actually just kept the movie going, and he somehow finds the Krampus and his elves. They're just doing a little thing. They're about to chuck one of the girls into the hole, and this hole looks fucking creepy. Obviously the main kid ends up getting dropped in there as well, but it looks fucking terrifying. It looks like it full on looks like he's being dropped into hell, and it looks pretty terrifying. And that ultimately leads to the ending of the movie, which, not the most darkest ending they could have gone with, but it is kind of just like an ending that gives you, I guess, a bit of the heebie-jeebies, or whatever you want to call it. It gives you a bit of the creeps, which is kind of just like, I guess Krampus is always going to keep an eye on the family and make sure they never lose their Christmas spirit. I think that's what they were kind of going with. So basically, Krampus is just going to be keeping an eye on them forever and make sure they never lose their Christmas spirit. But I don't know. I think that's what they were going with. But it was just kind of like an ending that, although it wasn't anything too like aggressive or super dark, it was just kind of an ending that kind of gave you a bit of chills, and it was a nice little ending. It wasn't too bad. And yeah, I'm glad they kept the movie going after his whole family died, because if they went with the ending that his whole family died, he was left alone, and that was the end of the movie, that would have been such a predictable and such an easy ending for them to go with. But they didn't go with that, and I'm glad they did. And I enjoyed the movie a whole lot more. Yeah, this is a fun movie, man. And yeah, I really, really enjoyed Krampus. This was a very fun Christmas horror movie that I definitely see myself rewatching again next Christmas. I really enjoyed the family, despite how shitty they were at the start. I weirdly enjoyed them from beginning to end. They were really fun. I enjoyed Krampus and his little elves and gingerbread men and shit. They were cool. And the movie had weirdly had some really good humor. For a horror movie, it was a bit weird, but it had some good humor, and I enjoyed this movie a lot. It was a very, very, very fun Christmas movie. Alrighty guys, this is going to be the end of my review of Krampus. I hope you enjoyed. Post comments down below. If you've seen Krampus, you can give me your thoughts on the movie. I am not sure what the next video is going to be. I don't know, it might just be another Christmas themed video or something else entirely. I am not entirely sure what the next video is going to be. I just thought I'd mention that. I just don't know what the next video is going to be. So, just look out. I don't know. I don't know what it's going to be. But yeah, hope you enjoyed my review of Krampus, and I will see you guys in the next video. Goodbye. Fuck off. Jesus, man. Gingerbread men, they're fucking horrible. Jesus Christ.
Go fuck yourself.